In this fictional movie, we will see a supervillain trying to attain a power that no one has ever had before. As Officer Eddie from the Hong Kong police and his team try to stop him, they have no idea what they are getting themselves into. Welcome to Movie Recall. In today's video, we will be going through the 2003 movie The Medallion. It's time to recall. Let's get started. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. As the movie begins, we see an old Chinese man who has just received a wooden crate outside his library. He brings it in and opens it. He takes a book out of the box, and as he opens the book, a man comes and closes the book. This man is Snakehead. Snakehead then opens the book and starts to read the old text written in the book. He reads from the book that a child will be born who will bring the two parts of the medallion together, which will unleash great power. Snakehead then tells the old man that he has done well. He then pays the old man and leaves. The next scene takes us to Hong Kong, China, where in the hustle and bustle of the city, we can see that Officer Eddie Yang is eating some street food when he sees a hungry dog and decides to share his food with him. As Eddie is about to eat his food, he gets a call from an undercover fellow officer who tells them that they have company at the temple. He runs towards a van filled with Interpol agents and is aware of them. They head straight for the temple. At the temple, Snakehead and his crew are already in and have found the chosen boy. The Interpol task force gets inside the temple and finds nothing but idols. As Officer Eddie waits outside the temple in the van, he notices a light coming from a swear hole. The boy inside the temple has combined the two pieces of the medallion. Eddie gets in the sewer and finds some people there with guns. Snakehead approaches the boy and tells him to give him what he wants. Eddie fights the gunman and gets to the boy. Meanwhile, Agent Watson and the Interpol task force are still unsuccessful in getting to the boy. As Snakehead sees Eddie, he puts the room on fire and runs away. Eddie saves the boy from the fire, and he, along with Agent Watson, runs after Snakehead, but he escapes. Agent Watson tells Eddie that it was his fault that Snakehead got away, but Eddie tells him that he saw his face. Snakehead tells Lester Wong to bring the boy to him in Dublin. The next scene takes us 2 weeks after this. Here, Eddie is having a meal at a restaurant. There, he goes on a mission, as we see him emerging at night from the water in Hong Kong. Eddie is observing a cargo ship called Sea Horizon. On the ship, we see Lester Wong and Giscard ask a man to take them to the boy. Eddie, along with a task force, gets on the ship without anyone noticing. They see that the ship crew brings the boy to Wang, and the boy is all tied up. Wang shows the boy to Snakehead on a video call, and he tells Wang to treat the boy like a prince. Then, suddenly, a police vessel comes and tells the cargo ship to stop. Giscard takes a rocket launcher and blows the police vessel up. A guard at the ship spots Eddie and his team and starts to shoot at them. Most of Eddie's team jumps off the ship, but Eddie keeps on fighting the ship crew and follows Wang. He sees them getting on a smaller ship, and there he jumps towards the small ship in an attempt to grab the boy, but he misses, and Wang and Giscard get away with the boy. Eddie goes to the Interpol headquarters in Dublin to meet the commander. There he meets Nicole. She is an old friend, and Eddie was supposed to contact her after their last mission together. After seeing her for so long, Eddie regrets not contacting her. They go to see the commander, and Agent Watson is also there. Watson is not happy with being on the team with Eddie, and the commander threatens Watson that if he will not work with Eddie, then he will be off the case. As Watson is about to leave, he accidentally enters the commander's file cabinet, instead of going out of the room. After that, Eddie goes to Watson and tells him that he is sorry for their last mission. They both argue in a way that the entire office thinks that they're gay. This annoys Watson, and he shouts out loud that he is now going home to cook dinner for his wife. Nicole was also listening to them argue. She then goes to Eddie and tells him that she has an idea to make things right. She takes Eddie to Watson's house, and before entering the house, she tells Eddie that Watson's family does not know that he is an Interpol agent. They think that he is a librarian. Watson receives them at his door wearing an apron. His wife comes along and asks if they were staying for dinner, and they say yes. Watson was making lamb chops, but they got burned. Now Eddie helps Watson in the kitchen, and they both make dinner as Watson's family and Nicole watch them work together. After dinner, they have a little wine to drink. Eddie and Nicole start to dance, and Watson joins them. They have a great time together. Afterward, as they play Scrabble, Watson's wife asks Eddie what he was doing in Dublin, and Watson says that he is looking for a rare book. Nicole asks Watson to help him find the book, and Watson agrees only if he is the head librarian. Nicole takes Eddie to his hotel, and as she is about to leave, she gives him a paper with the information about where to meet Watson the next day. The next day, as Eddie gets out of the hotel, he sees Giscard and starts to run after him. They run through a park and even an outdoor cafe. Giscard manages to get inside a fenced area and thinks that Eddie cannot get to him now. Eddie climbs over the fenced gate and is on Giscard's tail again. Eventually, Eddie catches Giscard and throws him inside a garbage bag. Giscard tells him that the boy is kept on a ship at the seaport. Eddie, Nicole, and Watson get to the seaport and find the ship where the boy is kept. Watson tells them that these people are dangerous and asks Eddie if he has a gun. Eddie tells him that he has no gun. Watson then tells him that he is in charge, and as he is telling them his plan and how they are supposed to get on the ship, he turns and notices that Eddie and Nicole are already gone. As Nicole distracts the workers, Eddie gets on the ship. Eddie starts to look around the ship for the boy as Lester Wong is also on the ship. The boy is kept inside a container. Wong goes to the boy and is about to take him to Snakehead. Eddie is spotted by a worker on the ship as he goes after Eddie. Eddie tricks him and gets away. He then comes across Wong and his men, who are taking the boy with them. Wong does not recognize Eddie until he tells Wong that he is under arrest. The boy runs away as Eddie starts to fight with Wong and his men. Some of Wong's men go after the boy. Eddie gets in a container while fighting with Wong's men, and he finds the boy hiding in the container. The boy and Eddie are now stuck inside the container, and Eddie calls Watson to find the container. As Nicole and Watson look for them, Eddie kicks the container, and Nicole is able to find the right container. Before they can get out of the container is thrown into the sea. Eddie sacrifices himself and saves the boy's life. When the container is taken out of the water, the boy lives, but Eddie has died. The boy goes to Eddie and uses his power to save Eddie, but he is not successful. Eddie's body is taken to the hospital, and Nicole is about to cry but stops, controlling herself. Everyone goes, only Watson is left alone with Eddie's dead body. Watson is telling Eddie's dead body that he is sorry as he was not there for him when he needed them the most. Then suddenly, Eddie appears from behind and asks Eddie what they were doing at the hospital and where his clothes were. Watson is really shocked as if he had seen a ghost. Watson shows Eddie his body, and they are both in a huge shock. Watson tells Eddie to recall what he remembers had happened. They figure out that it was the boy who had saved Eddie. Watson takes out the medallion, and Eddie's dead body disappears in the air. Watson then takes Eddie to see the little boy who has not been eating food for a while now. Eddie tries to feed him, but he himself does not like the food they are feeding him. As Eddie is about to leave, the boy gives him a piece of the medallion. The nurse asks him to leave, and Eddie gets suspicious about the nurse. She is actually working for Snakehead. Eddie fights with all the enemies in the hospital. He notices that he has some kind of superpowers, and as he gets shot, the bullets have no effect on Eddie. Then Nicole comes with other agents, and Eddie hides from her as she does not know that he is alive. Watson asks Nicole to take the boy with her and to keep him safe. After she leaves, Eddie comes out and tells Watson that something is happening to him. He asks Watson to stab him with a knife. As Watson stabs him with a knife, they notice that it has no effect on Eddie and a light comes out of the hole in Eddie's body. On the other hand, Snakehead is informed about everything by his men. Eddie and Watson talk to experts about the medallion, and now they know why Snakehead is after the little boy. Eddie goes to visit the little boy at Nicole's house. There, Nicole is feeding the boy some fruits. Nicole is upset because Eddie is dead. The boy tells her that Eddie is still alive, but Nicole does not believe him. Eddie jumps into Nicole's balcony using his new powers, and Nicole sees him, and now she believes the little boy. One of Snakehead's men gets his hands on the little boy and manages to take the boy with him through a helicopter. Eddie tries to stop him but is unsuccessful. The boy is taken to Snakehead, and Snakehead gets superpowers from the boy and the medallion. The boy tells Snakehead that he will not be able to be immortal unless he has the other part of the medallion, which the boy gave to Eddie. Nicole is still in shock to see that Eddie is alive, and she is standing right next to him when Watson comes in and tells them that Snakehead will need the other part of the medallion to become immortal. Eddie then says that Snakehead will do anything to get to him. They then rush to Watson's house to see if something has happened to Watson's family. There, as Watson tries to explain to his wife that he is an Interpol agent, Snakehead's men come to the house. They start to fight with Snakehead's men, where they find out that Watson's wife herself is a secret agent, and she helps them fight Snakehead's men. Eddie goes to the forest and finds that Snakehead is there. They both get into a fight. Snakehead is stronger than Eddie, and he defeats Eddie. He is successful in taking the other piece of the medallion from Eddie and goes away. When Eddie gets back into consciousness, he decides to go and save the boy. Watson uses a plane that he had made himself to go where Snakehead is keeping the boy, while Eddie and Nicole use a bike. Nicole and Eddie get into Snakehead's lair. There, they beat a few of his men. As Eddie is fighting with the men in a room, Wong takes out a sword, and as he is about to run towards Eddie, Watson crashes his plane into that room, injuring Wong and the rest of the men. Eddie runs towards Watson and asks him if he's crazy. He then tells him to be careful and leaves him. Watson is still in shock from the stunt that he just did. Nicole is making her way as well, as she beats quite a few men. A girl comes and asks Nicole if she was looking for something, and they both start fighting. The girl is also much more skilled, but eventually she is defeated by Nicole. Nicole then gets to the boy and tells him that he is safe now. The boy tells her that she is in danger. As she frees the boy, Snakehead appears behind her, and he is glowing because of the powers he now has. Snakehead catches up to them and grabs Nicole by her hair. The boy gives the medallion to Nicole as Snakehead throws her down. Eddie hears the noise and runs. He is able to catch the medallion, but as he moves further, he sees that Nicole is dead. Snakehead then tells Eddie that he should not be sad because of just one human life, as they are both immortals now. Eddie attacks him and they get into a fight. During their fight, the boy tells Eddie to throw the medallion towards Snakehead, and he does so. Demons emerge from Snakehead's chest and they start to trap him. He jumps towards Eddie and grabs him so that they would both get trapped. Eddie somehow escapes and Snakehead gets trapped in the medallion. Eddie and the medallion fall to the ground in front of the little boy. Eddie then takes the medallion to the boy and asks him to bring Nicole back to life. The boy tells Eddie to do it himself as he can do it now. Eddie is successful in bringing Nicole back to life, and she emerges from a light. She walks up to Eddie and first slaps him and then kisses him. As they both are making out, Watson comes with his gun and badge out and shouts, "Interpol, freeze!" Watson has no idea what happened. Watson then tells the boy to use the medallion upon him as he is sick and has a cough. Eddie and Nicole laugh at Watson. Eddie asks Nicole to come with him, and they both run away with super speed. Watson shouts at them and tells them that they cannot leave him alone here. The little boy then walks into the light and disappears, and at the end of the movie, we can see that Eddie and Nicole are running together very fast. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.